In May, the garden has really come alive. The flowers have started to bloom in both the front and the back garden, and the vegetables and the herbs and the fruit trees are really starting to show some good growth now. The front garden has lots of chive flowers out now. Last week they've all burst open. The lavender plants are just about to open. I think in the next maybe few days they'll all come into flower, and that's sort of the best time for the front garden. It looks really good with all the lavender and the chives together. The bees and insects are starting to come back to the garden as well. There's a couple of bees flying around the chive flowers now. Normally in June there'll be lots of them. They really like all the lavender and the chive flowers and the other herbs in the front garden. I'm gradually increasing the amount of edible plants in the front. We've now got a courgette plant that I've sneaked into a hole in the front garden, and I'm probably going to put another one out there as well if I can find a hole. I'm just going to cut back the bushes a little bit while they're growing. There's lots of other herbs too. The chocolate mint is still growing really well in the front garden, and I took lots of this out and potted it up as well, so there's more in pots in the back garden. I've also planted 3 new strawberry plants this year, and they're doing really well, so I've now got a total of 10. One of them was a self-set. It come for a runner and started growing its own, and they're already showing lots of flowers and some really good sized strawberries, so I'm really hoping we're going to get a good crop of these this year. I may have to find a way to cover the berries so the birds don't get to them first like they did last year, but they do look really good, and they look like they're going to sort of fruit at different times as well. They're different varieties. I think there's 3 different varieties in the front garden, so hopefully we'll get lots of strawberries. The rhubarb's also doing quite well. It's quite established now, so hopefully we'll be able to get some rhubarb off that this year. The fennel has also come back really well again this year. It's grown a lot more. I've had to pick out lots of little self-set fennel plants from around the garden, so it's doing really well. In the back garden, the flowers on some of the bushes are just about ready to open. This poppy plant normally opens about the 2nd week in June, and they're about the right size now, the heads, so looking forward to those opening. And these little flowers on some of the bushes are just starting to open, so again in a couple of weeks they should be really nice covering these bushes. Near the shed, the herbs there are doing okay. This is the chamomile, and it started growing a bit bigger now. A cat did dig in the pot a little bit and knock it back, but it's starting to grow well now. And the mint is doing really well, and we've used this a lot in teas already. So I've got a normal garden mint there in the 3 smaller pots. I've got 2 big pots of chocolate mint, and the one in the middle is the orange mint, so looking forward to using lots more of that this year. The lobelia plants I planted on the shed a couple of weeks ago are growing quite a lot. They're filling the pots quite well, so I'm hoping they're going to flower in another couple of weeks, maybe a month. And the strawberries next to them on the shed and the other little rack are starting to come into flower. These are alpine strawberries, so they're really small ones, but they're quite nice just to pick as you're wandering about. And this is a self-set plant that I've just let grow in this pot. I'm not sure where it came from, but it's some nice flowers. I've planted out 3 courgettes in the back garden so far, and I've still got another 6 or 7 I think to plant somewhere in pots maybe, but these 3 have been in a week or so and they're doing quite well. They're putting on new shoots. The grapevine is doing really well. In the last week it's really shot up, put lots of foliage on, and there's some very tiny little grapes starting to form. So hopefully this year we should be able to get some good grapes off this plant. You can just see tiny little form of grapes there. There's quite a few of them on the plant, and our 2 fruit trees are doing okay. The plum tree is doing very well. The pear tree is still lagging a little bit. And our 2 pots of violas are still in bloom, and they've been in bloom for weeks now. So these are really nice, and hopefully these will keep flowering until the lobelias start flowering.